everybody, and welcome back to my channel. And today we are working on one of 3 pieces that I did in the month of August. This was a sort of impromptu surprise challenge that me and a mutual artist over on Instagram, KXA Comics, decided to do because we were chatting about food and liking food. So we're like, oh, it'd be fun to draw some. So we came up with this little summer bite-sized challenge that was, meant to be chill, kind of easy, just do it how you want to kind of thing. But we piled together 2 lists of different types of summer foods or drinks, and then we compared our lists to see where we had crossover. And this was one of the crossover ones we had fruit salad. So the inspiration for my particular rendition of this was based off of, I think it's like Filipino fruit salad. I definitely know there's condensed milk involved with it, so it's more of a milky white kind of, almost sometimes liquidy kind of fruit salad vibe, but I just liked the idea. And initially I was gonna do all the prompts. So the first prompt was fruit salad, second prompt was lemonade, and the third one was ice cream sandwich. I was gonna do some of my original characters for each single one. Again, the idea was to do something inspired by the food and having the food kind of be as much of a main star as possible, but still having some sort of character that represented the food. So again, initially I thought I was going to do some of my original characters, but when I started trying to work on ideas, it just wasn't clicking. So I was like, you know what? This is supposed to be easy. This is supposed to be chill. Let me just do kind of my comfort zone, which is mermaids. So that is where the mermaid idea came from. And of course, especially with this first one, since I was doing something that I knew could be a more liquidy looking fruit salad, I was like, oh, something with like this splash in a bowl kind of became the idea. I also apologize for any kind of shaking on the camera. I did not realize that when I was inking, a lot of times, depending on which place I was putting my camera, it was causing shaking. So that's something I will definitely be working on here in the future, is to find better camera angles that work to minimize that, which I definitely think I found one during this filming of this particular video. There's a certain angle that you'll see me working at that I'm like, this is good. My hand's not blocking what I'm doing as much, and it doesn't seem like the shaking is as much of an issue. So that is definitely what I'm looking at doing more in the future. But I did not end up recording really working on the other pieces, especially because I had a lot going on that month. But when I posted them on social media, I would definitely say the one that got the most, reaction from my followers and the most comments on it, I think, was my lemonade piece, which features 2 mermaids. I really do like the composition and the vibe of that one. But yeah, most of the first part of this video is me inking. And I think when I put in all the clips here, the total hours was over 3 hours, almost 4 hours of what I filmed. At least there was definitely some portions I probably didn't film. Obviously coming up and sketching out the idea was a whole different thing, which is not usually something I tend to record, just because I'm doing a lot of research, I'm looking at a lot of references, I'm just trying to kind of piece things together. So with filming, I've learned it does kind of slow down my process a bit to, various degrees. So that's a stage in which I feel a little bit more uncomfortable recording. But if that's something you guys would like to see me record more of, is sort of the sketching and seeing the whole process really from its infancy to the end result, do let me know. But yeah, the inking is just kind of repetition of just going over obviously my sketch lines, which I did use a light box. So I did the initial sketch in one of my sketchbooks, and then I took a photo of it, printed out the photo, and then used that to, actually, is that how I did it? I might have actually sketched this in a different sketchbook and ripped out the paper. I tend not to do that as much nowadays, but depending on which sketchbook it is, I'll do it. But yeah, when we start to get into the next part of coloring, there's definitely a few things that I had in mind. So first of all, with this challenge, because it was supposed to be more relaxed and chill, I definitely wanted to bring out my Copic markers to, knock the dust off those and use them more, which you might be able to tell in some of the clips, but there was definitely a number of Copic markers that I pulled out that I was like, oh wow, my quick fixes to these, or my attempts at fixing these, did not work, and they're just dried and messed up. I don't know. I definitely ordered, it was a bad group of Copic markers I ordered at a time. I don't know. They were kind of defective, I guess, because they just like crystallized and did all kinds of weird things. Maybe they were overfilled. I'm not really sure, but it is a little bit of a shame since it is a refillable marker that it just doesn't seem like, because I did attempt to replace nibs and refill them, but that doesn't seem to be working, so I'm not sure what is wrong with the actual inner chamber of them. But I'll just have to get new ones, I suppose. But yeah, when it came to coloring, I was really trying to use very different colors for each single part, and also just trying to figure out how to draw fruit in general was a challenge, because I was going for something that was realistic but simplified, and I think I did an all right job. It would be interesting to try this again with something different. Maybe again, if I did this with watercolor, I could get it even better, but I was again using a limited sort of number of supplies, as in the Copic markers, my ink pens, and the last art supplies I use in this are a what they call Posca pen for some highlights. It's actually a cream colored Posca pen, and I thought it worked perfect again for the look that I was going for with this. But yeah, it was mostly just trying to isolate each different type of fruit. So there's pineapple, there's kiwis, there's dragon fruit, there's watermelon, there's strawberries, blueberries, blackberries in there, and then the and grapes. And probably the weird wild card, because I didn't notice in some of the reference photos I was looking at for the particular fruit salad I was trying to go for, that some people put Jello in it. At least that's what it looks like. So I was like, how the hell do I draw Jello? So I was looking at different references, and then it became a question of what color am I supposed to use for the Jello, because I was really at a loss for that, especially based on all the other colors I had already used of my Copic markers, because I was very much trying not to reuse the same exact colors. So even with like multiple types of greens, I tried to isolate and only use a certain set of greens for like the kiwi versus what I used for the green grapes. So, and same with like the reds. There's also apple. I forgot about the apple, was another fruit I put in there. Again, I was just looking at a lot of different references to see what sort of things people put in fruit salad, and I just kind of combined what I thought was interesting into one little illustration. So, and as you can see in these clips, the sun came through my my office and was shining on the artwork, which I rather liked actually when that happened. But you guys let me know if you guys enjoyed seeing a little bit of sunlight coming through. But as far as future challenges, and I will mention I did do a few limited prints of this particular set of illustrations, and also the originals are available for purchase if you're interested in that. If you want to go over to my Ko-fi shop, that's where you can find the originals. I haven't updated yet with the prints, but if you want to print, send me a message and let me know. I do have these available as 5x7s and 8.5x11s, so that's something you're into, definitely do let me know. But as far as challenges in general this year, this again was a surprise one. This wasn't really on my docket of like, oh yeah, this was something I've been planning in advance, which me and the particular artist who I did this with, we actually did a live stream afterwards, and we kind of talked about what we would do different, because we are planning on doing this challenge again in the future, like next year, but we'll definitely advertise it more in advance, maybe even do more YouTube video related things with it. So if you guys are interested in taking part in that, do let me know. Again, this was only a 3-prompt challenge for a full month, so I think it's pretty accessible to everybody, because I have noticed a trend with a lot of people when it comes to art challenges with trying to simplify them and not always going for that monthly slog of doing it every single day, which I totally get because things are just crazy. But with that said, this year I have done a couple challenges. One was my Mermaid, which that was a full 31 days. I did finish all the sketches and the inkings for them. I didn't finish all the coloring, so I only got so far in the coloring part of that challenge. And then my next challenge is only a 12-day challenge, which is coming up in October, and that's my 12 days of Halloween challenge. I have very specific prompts for that because there was a very specific thing that inspired that whole challenge, so you guys will find that out more. In fact, if you go over to my Patreon, you can see the first uncensored piece for that over on my Patreon. But yeah, and then the last challenge I have for this month is more of a spicy challenge, and that one has full 31 days, but it also has weekly prompts. So if you just want to do it, 4 times in the month, that is available too. And all of that is over on my Instagram if you're interested in that. So yeah. With that said, I think I'll just let you guys finish watching the rest of this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.